All right. How we doing, internet? Welcome to my bed. So I've tried recording this video a bajillion times and just tried to make it as catchy as possible, and I I hated them. I think because they didn't sound genuine, it didn't feel real, and this game is all those things. I wanted to tell you about my honest experience with Baldur's Gate, kind of the same way I have been talking about it with my friends, which has usually been like this. Like, I'll be in a Discord call on my phone and just kind of gabbing about it. I have not been enthralled in a game, like actually kept my attention to the end of the game in a long time. I have a lot of playthroughs that I've never finished. It's actually quite a rare thing in my community for me to finish a playthrough because I get so bored so quickly. And the only game I've ever really 110%ed was Oblivion. I remember when it came out. I remember reloading saves and kind of just like being really excited. I remember stealing something and trying to sell like a stolen good to a merchant in Oblivion, and then be like, "You can't sell stolen goods." And then remember going to sleep, and they were like, "Hey, if you wanna, if you wanna sell stuff, you can come to the Thieves Guild." And then also kind of the same thing with like killing someone in the Dark Brotherhood would come to you when you slept, and it was like, "You've sacrificed." And so it was like one of those cool things. Like, at the time, YouTube wasn't ruining things for you with like clickbait titles or anything, and TikTok wasn't showing clips, and TikTok wasn't around. So like all those moments were real because at the time me and my friends hadn't played them. And that was the game that I like. I 110%ed. I got all the achievements on Xbox 360. I remember me and my buddy Daniel would bring an Xbox 360, and there was no multiplayer on the game, so we would just put TVs next to each other with Xbox 360s, get our snacks, and do gaming that way. And it was such a memorable part of my life that nothing's really kind of compared to it up until Baldur's Gate 3. This is a game that was hyped up a lot by one of my friends, and he was just like, "Yo, you got to give it a try." I was like, "I'm not going to play the game unless you buy it. I hate turn-based. I don't know anything about D&D. I just, I don't know this, man." I thought it was going to be the regular track record of I'll play it for like a couple days and then I'll be over it, and that'll be that. And this game caught me so much by surprise because it was one of the. It probably is going to rank up like top 3 favorite games ever. I've never played a game so much and wanted to see everything about a game and explore all of its secrets and kind of just see what I find and do this certain type of interaction to see what happens. I've actually never really wanted to stay away from spoilers just because of social media. I will always be spoiled. Like, I just kind of came to that grip. But thankfully, because I never showed interest in it before it came out, I was not getting spoilers or anything. So I got to go into this game fully blind, which is how I'd recommend you all to do it. I'd recommend your first playthrough with this game to be you just seeing how it goes. Whether you lose, whether you have a horrible build, whatever. I think this game does very well when you have no information about it and you continue to kind of like just look around and explore. And yeah, because man, my first playthrough of this game was amazing. So much so, I started 4 other playthroughs and 2 with my friends, which I'll get into later. But I want to talk to first off about the people who like know these type of games, like Larian Studios. Apparently, it's just in their track record to just knock it out of the ballpark. The characters are so in depth that I was like forming a really heart-to-heart connection, and with Carlac, which some of you know her as like Dami Mommy, and just like she has such a bombastic personality, and I really enjoyed the friendship with Gale, and was really excited to like have him kind of be the good angel on my shoulder for all this, and you really get invested in the characters' issues and triumphs. It's really funny because I'm a 30-year-old man, and I have never felt this way except when I was in 6th or 7th grade playing Oblivion on my Xbox 360 with my buddy Daniel. It really does suck you into the world. It's extremely immersive. The world is huge. The world is beautiful. It is gorgeous. The stories that are told in are awesome and funny and sad and heart-wrenching and brutal. Like, if you guys are playing The Dark Urge, if you know what I'm talking about. But it is nothing short of amazing when it comes to an epic tale, whether it be funny or however you're wanting to do it, whether you play a bard and there's like the classes that you can pick is innumerable. You can multi-class, you can build the character that you want to play as. You can really customize who you want to be in this game, whether it comes to dialogue or anything else. Like, there is no shortage of how you can play, and every choice matters, whether it bites you in the butt later. And I know that's like a thing nowadays, like, it's totally open-ended, but this game is incredibly open-ended. If you want to start a fight in a tavern and see what happens, see what brawl, like, you could lead out to the street. You could turn against people. You can set up a plan to where you double-cross someone. It is insane. You can be the bad guys. You can be... it really is up to what you want to do. And I think in a world of games that are coming out, they're like, oh, it's totally open world, you can do whatever, but you can't use this in a boss fight because that'd be broken, and that wouldn't be fair. There's there's a lot of clips going around of boss fights being ended because you push someone down a well or down a cave or down a cavern, and it's like, oh, they're dead. Like, because you rolled well on your strength check to just shove some person down a well, and that's the end of the boss fight. It's like, okay, you don't get their items because you can't loot them, but at the same time, like, it could be over just like that. And it really does reward people who like do the research and like check to see what people are weak to, and if you have a certain spell, you can also like scum save and go back and like prep for spells for certain boss fights. But also, like, if you're not prepared, and if you don't know this type of game, or if you're new to D&D style turn-based games, like I was a Call of Duty player. I played a lot of Apex. I played a lot of other games. Like, I was very much into those, and so it was really kind of daunting and almost embarrassing to kind of come to a game that I didn't know. And then to have it kind of walk you through to the point to where it's like, it'll hold your hand for like a second, and then it's like, okay, figure it out. Because I think that's how Larian Studios meant for the game to first be played. It's like, okay, these are the basics. Like, you'll be fine. And it really does respect the gamer's intelligence to kind of like make your own decisions and choose your own paths, and if you want to multi-spec, you make your own mistakes. But you can always go back and save them, or if you just want to play on and see where that gets you, it's so cool. And I think it's been a long time since I've had a game I've won, beat, and been like, wow, this is really incredible. But it's been something amazing to the moment I ended the campaign, it was like, okay, I'm going in again because there's so much more to find. I mean, I've racked up around 260 hours of this game at the time I'm recording this. Um, and man, it has been amazing. Um, and I think that's another thing that makes this game really fun. So I brought up Oblivion and how I'd play with my buddy Daniel, and we brought screens together and got snacks. Um, this game can also be multiplayer. Now, granted, I wouldn't recommend your first playthrough to be multiplayer. I'd recommend that you try to get as much as you can in by yourself that you can. But man, the laughs I've had with some of my friends brings me back to those days of like, man, I'm playing with my good friends again. Like the silliness, if we want it to be, or how serious we want it to be, like it really is so amazing. Yeah, the combat's crazy. You can be whatever you want. You can, if you want a paladin that's on a holy mission, like do that, and he only does good. But if you break your oath, there's like a hidden oath breaker class that you wouldn't have access to unless you like killed some innocent on accident or on purpose. I don't know. Maybe you're playing Dark Urge, um, and there's so many cool things that you can stumble upon. That in this day and age, I feel like it's hard to stumble upon anything because it's always ruined or it's always talked about or anything. And it really was such a fun time to kind of experience something again like that and have it be just so enthralling. Yeah, the game is long if you want it to be. I would recommend exploring every nook and cranny because I promise you, it will always surprise you what new trails you'll kind of walk down and new characters that you'll see and you'll befriend, and if you hadn't walked down that trail, you wouldn't have had these interactions. And I think this game is a 10 out of 10. Larian Studios, also shout out to you guys for creating this game that and also in the place where game developers and companies are really greedy and they've just kind of like put the bare minimum on a game with DLC to like unlock the rest of the game or even new part of the game. Like Larian Studios has gone above and beyond to give you a full game. What you pay for is what you get, and it's not lackluster. I think that's another thing I noticed is I was like, man, like I'm playing it and I'm like, no part of me is like, man, I hope they make DLC because this isn't enough. Like I'm going through it and I just want DLC because I don't ever want it to end. But as I'm playing, I've just been finding new things. I mean, 260 hours is not a short amount of time to go through a game and be like, wow, this is a lot. It's just been so cool and so eye-opening to what games could be, and especially to bring me, who have been a gamer for the last almost 20 years, like I didn't think I was going to be able to feel that feeling again. I think a lot of games try to get that feeling of like, okay, let's bring game back. Like, and maybe I'm just jaded because I played Call of Duty for like 2 years straight and for some reason didn't branch out, But this game is, it really is such an eye-opening experience to how possible it is for us to get that feeling back. Like, for me to get that feeling of walking through mountains again and being like, oh, I can go there. Or I can do that. Oh, I can do that in this game. Like, there's so many moments of like just doing that and being like, oh, that's in this game. Oh, it's crazy. Wait, there's what in this game? Like, it's just been so good. Yeah, so I'd recommend this game to anyone. This is one of the few games where it's like, oh, are you whatever? Like, I don't know. Do you only play shooters? Do you only play yes? Well, do you like I don't know. You can do whatever you want in this game. If you don't give a fuck about the story and you just want to kind of go on a slaughtering spree and kill people, tear it up, man. This game does that. If you want to, get some friends together and just be all bards and see how well that gets you, do it. Like, anything's possible in this game, man. You want to be a warlock mixed in with a paladin, so you just got like this busted build, which I've seen everyone on my YouTube page. By the way, thank you guys for the guides, because I suck at guides, and your boy needed help because I suck at specking. It is just so full. It's just a full game. And I think that's also been like the rarity that I've had is I've been around so many games that are just like give you the bare minimum or give you issues, with their game. Like, some games don't even boot up nowadays, and maybe it's because I have a pretty nice system, but ran totally smooth. Really beautiful game. Yeah, it does so well. And there's people who have an issue with the ending of the game, and so like right now, I don't like at the time this video is recording, like they're working on a patch to like redo the story a little bit and give it more of a fleshed out ending, which I personally thought the ending was great. Didn't want to end. But man, it was yeah, it's just so good. It's so good. And I do want to say the voice acting is phenomenal. I think that's another thing is the voice acting. It feels so well done with professionals, and everybody talks, and even if they're not people, like there's a way to like talk to animals, which I'd recommend on your first playthrough, and just talk to every animal. And like, I know it sounds silly, but like you get so much dialogue, and sometimes there's like hidden things that you find out from like talking to animals. And yeah, it's, like I could just go on and on to talk about like how much this game is just like excelled. You know what I mean? Like, it's just been really, really good. So yeah, I couldn't do like the 10 reasons why you should play Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I just gab about it. Like, every time I'm streaming it, which by the way I stream here on YouTube, the full game. I'm probably just gonna be streaming this game for forever. Every time I stream it, I'm just blown away by what is in it. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I freaking love this game. I think I've said that like a million times while I play this, just because I'm so excited with it, and I'm so impressed with it, and I want to celebrate this because I think we criticize game companies so much recently. Like, if a game company does bad, like, we criticize the smallest detail. And I really want this to succeed, and I really would love for games to be more like this, and just really, and that, I'm fine with how long it takes, whether it takes 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, I think I'm fine with it. The quality is fantastic. I'm fine with people taking their time. If this was all I get, and I get a game every 15 years, man, this would be the one. Like, this would be that game that I would just be excited to replay over and over again. So, if you're curious about this game and you wanted like an actual real life person talking to you about it, and not just like a 10,000 reasons why you should be playing Baldur's Gate 3. What? you can be a druid and turn into a kitty cat. Which, by the way, you can. It's just, it's so good. I don't know. Like I just gab about it because I think I'm so excited with it, and I'm so pumped with it, and I'm excited for like friends who don't play this game. Like I think I can offer it to my friends who don't play shooters and don't play anything else besides shooters or besides competitive games. Be like, hey, take a break and just get lost in this. I've messaged so many of my buddies. I was talking to my other friend Ty Games, and he was like, man, this game's got me by the balls. And I was just pumped, man. Like I think I'm also excited to see other adults and people my age who are just had that feeling with gaming to where it's like doesn't really waking up anything, and then to have people have that same feeling that I'm having is really, really amazing. You know, I think it's been awesome. But anyways, guys, that's all I can say is just 10 out of 10. And they're patching it and they're making everything better. And it's not one of those games that came out unfinished. Like after it's been finished and after it's been a really good product, they're continuously listening to the fan base and releasing new updates and releasing new things that were just good that the fans asked for. And I think that's also a difference. Is man, Larian Studios is a crazy 10 out of 10 game developer. Like they just, God, dude, they raise the standard so much, and so much so. If you guys didn't know, other gaming companies were like, "Wow, I hope people don't expect it to stay like this." Because the shit is tough to keep up with. Basically, is what they said. But yeah, congrats Larian Studios, and congrats everyone who worked on the project. You guys fucking knocked it out of the ballpark, and yeah, it's just been good. And I think I needed a game like this recently, just with some like personal life stuff, but it's just been awesome. I'm super thankful for it, and thankful for everyone who's been stopping by the streams, and that's also brought in like a fan base that's been like really, really awesome and really friendly, and they're also like with my excitement every time there's like a moment where I'm like, what the hell? And they're like, this happens. Like it's been so sick. Yeah, anyways, I don't fucking know how to end this. Buy Baldur's Gate. It's a fantastic game. Live, laugh, love. Toaster Bass. Take it away.